Hello everyone. So I know I've been talking about Bell Jar and I've been talking about how I've been reading Bell Jar and I even put up about I think wow, what a forgetful person I am. So now I don't even remember, but I think I did put up a post where I said that I'll be putting up a review of Bell Jar. But I am a slow reader and that's a problem of my life. I think again I think I think a lot. So I'm quite a slow reader. I mean, one of the problems that I think I had and a lot of other people have is during the university days is reading up a lot of things in a rushed manner, and that's how it is. Like you cannot like for a slow reader like me it was really difficult because I wanted to take in each and every word. Although I have read Bell Jar, and first of all I love this edition of Bell Jar. Like it's so beautiful. I mean, I don't know whether I mean I was supposed to put up a video where when it came, and maybe I will. So it looks, I mean, I really, this is one of my prized possession. I not only do I love this thing, but I also love the inside. Yes, I'm shamelessly promoting capitalistic culture, maybe most probably. That's there, and I love how it has this whole white mm, cover, hard cover inside. For a person who reads, I feel like sometimes I don't know what to say and how to say, and that's the problem. You have to be eloquent, and yeah, white cover here as well. Oh, hard cover here as well, and peaches, which is very interesting because peaches hold a lot of significance in this book, and this is my bookmark in case anyone is interested. Yeah, and it has illustrations, so I'm going to show for people who are interested, and for myself I'm going to show the different illustrations that's there because it's the illustrated edition. So I'm very happy that finally I have a copy of Bell Jar. I've been having ebooks, I've been reading Bell Jar, always I've read Bell Jar through an ebook, so this one is a really good thing, really a book that really made me happy, and I'm happy to have this with me now. Coming to review, so I honestly, when it came to when I thought about putting up a review, I thought what more could I put out there. There's so many amazing scholarly articles written on Bell Jar, and so many people have done so much of work on Bell Jar, and they have analyzed it, contextualized it. I'm sure there are so many articles on close reading. So what more could I put it out there? So I think I'm still I don't know whether it's called procrastinating, or I'm still stuck as into what more could I add, because I believe mindlessly you put in sometimes, and most probably even I do that. Like sometimes you get into this habit of mindlessly putting out content out there, which I feel is not at all helpful. Mindlessly putting out any kind of content, you have to add some essence and enhance a kind of value to any content. So yeah, just a second. Yep. So I think what I'm going to do is one of the so being a slow reader, I'm going to take things slowly. So maybe I'm going to put these 5 minutes videos where I discussed my favorite part from it. So I've read the first chapter. I mean, I've read the whole novel, but I have reread the first chapter. And one of the things that I really liked from the first chapter is how Plath has introduced Doreen and Esther. Yeah, Esther. For a person who thinks and who goes on saying with conviction that this is their favorite book. It's amazing that I do not remember her name. Wow. So one of the things that I really liked about the first chapter of the Bell Jar is the how Plath introduces, because I feel like not a lot of emphasis is given the way to the way with which she's written, and I really like to go into these things where we actually notice how a writer is writing, not what a writer has written, but rather, um yes. And all of a sudden just remember that I've got flowers today. mm, this one's, I mean, this flower reminded me about that buckwheat flour, which Goblin gives to Geontak, and so I got it. Although I don't think that time I had a proper recollection, I just saw it and I wanted to have it. Today was Christmas, so I wanted to get flour, so I just got it. But yes, I think this is the very same flower, if I'm not mistaken. And the other flowers that I have are these pretty yellow flowers. So now back to your places, Mr. Flower, Miss Flower, whatever. Yeah. So I think that's not a lot of emphasis or information. mm, um, Not a lot of emphasis is put into that. So I'm going to read certain sections of it. And so, first of all, I mean, I love how she, before introducing Doreen, where is my pencil? Yes. So before introducing Doreen, what she does is she introduces these other upper class girls, with which obviously Esther couldn't relate. So at the back of our mind as readers, we already know that what kind of, we already push gently into that direction. So these girls look awfully bored to me. I saw them on the sunroof yawning and painting their nails and trying to keep up their Bermuda tans, and they seemed bored as hell. So I also liked her language, like how she's so casual, because that reflects so much of her nature, so much of her character. So these girls look awfully bored to me. Why the usage of the word adverb awfully? Because again, it shows which state of mind Esther is in at this point of time. So these girls look awfully bored to me. I saw them on sunroof yawning and painting. So again, sunroof, yawning, painting. Mm, so she's just talking about awfully being awfully bored, and then directly she's pushing us in giving us that image. As a writer, she's giving us that image in our mind, trying to keep up with the Bermuda tans, and they seem bored as hell. So yes, so Esther is repeating the word bored as hell, awfully bored as hell, but then again, that's her feelings that's coming out, that is leading to the repetition, that shows us what she's feeling exactly at that moment. I talked with one of them and she was bored with the yacht, bored with flying around, bored with skiing, and bored with men in Brazil. So again, here, why has Sylvia Plath written in this way? According to, she could have just said, bored with this and that, just to emphasize how these girls are, where they're coming from, and how Esther does not feels that she doesn't belong to that kind of societal upbringing or that kind of environment. Girls like that make me sick. I am so jealous, I can't speak. So again, bored of this, bored of that. If Plath wouldn't have perhaps written bored of this, bored of that, this line, girls like that make me sick, wouldn't have hold that significance in the mind of the reader, because we already know that she's frustrated and she's saying, girls like that are bored of this, they're bored of that, and they make me sick. So yeah, that's a beauty of her writing. Simple, but somewhere she's putting up all of these layers. So I just love her. I'm so jealous, I can't speak. 19 years and I hadn't been out of New England except from this trip to New York. So obviously, as a character, she's connecting, and as a person, obviously we do compare. We live in an age of social media, and I think Esther would have, if she would have been living here, she would have been a really well lively character, because she's saying, I'm so jealous, I can't speak. So girls like, again, why did Plath didn't write, bored of, Switzerland in Christmas and bored with men in Brazil? And then she could have went ahead and written these lines, it I hadn't been out of New England except for this trip to New York. So why that? Because if she would have written this, if I hadn't been out of New York except for a trip to New York, girls like that make me sick. So it wouldn't have, because at one point of time, psychologically, the impact is that you are getting bored of this, bored of that, and that, what does that boredom leads to? It makes us sick. And why does it make her sick? Because she hadn't been anywhere. So that comparison comes later. So again, the way she has arranged her sentences, I'm not even going into the usage of why which particular words she, I might go here and there, but I thought I'll make a 10-minute video on this, and I'll talk about Doreen. Still haven't even talked about Doreen, and that's the magic of Plath on me, and that's the kind of person I'm. Very slow reader, because I like to take in these nitty gritties. So if you also like to do it, and if it's anyway helpful, then bear with me, and I get excited about these things. So it was my first big chance, but here I was sitting and letting. And again, so the way the parallel is being built is, she's talking about these girls. She's before this she's talked about how she hasn't been steering anything. So now she's talking about these girls, how they have chances, and how she is bored of it. She's jealous of them because she doesn't have the chance, and since she's now having a chance because she's different from them. So again, she's emphasizing the difference between these two, not by saying, these girls are these girls do this, these girls do that. I do not do that because I come from a different upbringing, different surrounding, whatever proper word for that is. Again, a person who I think who lacks vocabulary, or maybe he doesn't remember whatever she reads. Amazing. So that's something I think I need to work on myself as well. So a person who has been brought up into that kind of surrounding, now, when she sees girls like this, the effect that it has on them, has on her, is that she sees all of these people, she knows her thing, and then she knows where is she rooted, and she knows that how she cannot let this chance slip away. And why is this beautiful, or why Plath has done this beautifully? Because just by talking about other girls, just by directly, because if she would have written, because before this she's already talked about Esther, thinking that Esther hasn't been doing anything. And again, it shows also that how Esther as a character is someone who always compares herself with others, who takes this other people's who gets affected, influenced by other people's perception and opinions. Because earlier she was talking about how people thought that a girl like this goes to New York, ends up steering, only I wasn't steering anything. And now also these girls look awfully bored to me. So this is not coming from from any kind of non-comparison. This is coming from the fact that she looks at these girls, she looks at these surroundings. So what Plath is again doing is threefold. She's situating the character into the socio-economic surrounding. She's telling us, she's giving us information about what kind of person Esther is, due to her socioeconomic surrounding, and how she's, sometimes you could be from a social class, like you could be from a middle class, lower middle class, but you wouldn't be so affected. Perhaps you're one of those characters. But no, Esther is someone who comes from this middle class surrounding. Esther is someone who feels that she's not doing enough because of a middle class surrounding, adequate enough. She's not being adequate enough. She's not being well enough. So that insecurity, something that again we find it in us these days. And so this is so much of a contemporary book. And that's the beauty of this. Like, it's a classic because it still holds so much of value while talking about these things in a most simplistic manner. Yeah. So when she talks about these girls look awfully bored to me, and she uses the word bored to show the frustration. So that's how we get to know about Esther's frustration. And then after that, she doesn't directly go and say that I went to New England and this is my first chance. Gradually, because when we are confiding in with someone, we do not go ahead and we are not like that. And with Esther, we have seen that she is not like that. Like, she shares, but she doesn't overshare. So there's this thing where the the decorum, the voice is strong, it's maintained. So that is another thing that Plath is doing with her, these little things. And I think if we do not read properly, then we'll miss out on all of those things. And it was my first big chance, but here I was sitting back and letting it run through my fingers like so much water. So another discontentment that she faces, like, and it was my first big chance. So again, in comparison to these girls and whatever, this is my chance, this is my only chance, or sorry, this is my first big chance. But here I was sitting back and letting it run through my finger like so much water. So letting it run through my finger, sitting back and letting it run through my finger like so much of water. Again, another thing is that the imagery that she has created in our mind is so much of movement, girls going there, girls coming here, but she herself, her movement has been very restricted. This is her only chance. But here now, while and movement is also interlinked with productivity, like you're in a state of active state. But while she should be doing that, what is she doing? She's actually sitting back and letting it run through her fingers like so much water. So letting it run. So it's very paradoxical about sitting back and running. So that's her beauty, because she's put up two of these paradoxical words, like sitting back, sitting, running. So, but in a way that that makes the whole sense. So sitting back and letting it run through my fingers like so much water. So letting it run through my fingers, wasting away through so much of water. So that's that. I mean, I would get into Doreen section as well. Tell me if you like these kind of videos, if it was any helpful, if you would like to add something, if you have read this particular section, and what were your thoughts. And yeah, what do you think about Sylvia Plath? I mean, yes, that's her beauty. I mean, the way she's done all of this. So if you liked it, and if you thought about it in this way, or if it was something new, it was a revelation, tell me what do you think about it. And this was my very short review about Sylvia Plath and a hint into Esther's social character. So I mean, rather than just going into summarizing the whole of it and saying this is she comes from the social character, I would really like to take bits and pieces of it and discuss her socioeconomic background, discuss how urban landscape forms a part of it, and what it leads to her mental health, and how mental health is there linked to urban landscape. That's one thing that's there. So we are going to do all of that. And if you really liked it, and if you got as excited as me, then kindly do inform me. I love to put up more of these videos, and for myself, if not for anyone else, so that it's out there and it's amazing to talk about these things. Bye bye, Merry Christmas, and have a great night. Read well, read whatever you want to read. Which reminded me that I also need to read Brother Karamazov, like, and that's the book that I got, which is so amazing. Like, the edition is so amazing, like really amazing edition, and I can't wait to share it with you all. Why can't I wear it to shirt? Seriously, why can't I wait to share it with you all? Was it Freudian slip? Wear it to shirt, I have to check again. So I can't wait to share it with you all, because it's such a beauty. I mean, I love books, and I love how beautiful they look, and I love beautiful books, so I need to share it. Yeah, till then, bye bye, and I hope you liked it. And yes, this is my book of Bell Jar, something to end this video with.